Hey, y'all. We're going to kind of get right into this today a little bit. Hey, Floor. Hey, Hope. Hey, Elle. Hey, Rayanne. Give everybody a minute. I'm not doing the long introduction. We're jumping on a few minutes early. Just in case anybody hasn't heard about this story, we'll do some background before the press conference starts. It starts in 14 minutes. So we will sit here and talk for a few and get everybody that has questions hopefully answered. Hey, Solo. Hey, Marcy. Hey, Spoonie. Hey, Jacinda. Has anybody not heard about this story yet? If you haven't, it's a tragedy. It's a major tragedy. 4 University of Idaho students were found murdered over the weekend. Happened, well, what would be late Saturday, early Sunday morning, 3 or 4 a.m. They unfortunately found out about noon on Sunday. 3 girls and 1 boy, all in their early 20s, all college students, all of them Greek. They lived on Greek Row in Moscow, Idaho, at the University of Idaho. And if you don't know Idaho, you don't understand, like, University of Idaho is a big college town, but that's like one of the biggest things there. It's a really small area. And 3 of the girls, all 3 of the girls, one's from Rathdrum, one's from Coeur d'Alene, and one's from Post Falls, which northern Idaho, super small area. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah, it's a really heartbreaking case. There's not a suspect yet that's been named. We'll watch the press conference and then we'll go back and watch some of the other stuff. There's not a whole lot of information known. The 1 boy that was killed, Ethan, is the boyfriend of Xana, who was one of the girls killed. It's just a super major tragedy. Yeah. And there's just not, thankfully, a lot of the kids are going home on Thanksgiving break. So, because it's upset everybody. And like I said, the 3 girls are from northern Idaho, which is a very small area. Like, Post Falls, Coeur d'Alene, and Rathdrum are tiny little. Coeur d'Alene's the biggest out of all 3, but Rathdrum's a tiny little town. These girls probably have known each other since elementary school, middle school. Yeah, it's sad. And I think he's from Washington, is what it said. Jacinda, there is footage of some things. They haven't released a whole lot yet. They've kept quite a bit of stuff close to the vest, it feels like, so far, but we're going to get into some of that. In fact, let me pull up here for you guys that haven't seen it. Let me watch one of the updates. We'll watch this update right quick. Hold on. Give me a moment. Oh, wait. Can I not do... Oh, I can't do 2 at once. Shit. Okay, hold on. Let me do this one. We'll go to this one.
In the small town of Moscow, Idaho, the violent murder...
Sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I'm going to mute this and take me out. Just so you guys know, like, this is a developing story. There's no suspect as of right now. Like I said, we'll be watching the news conference here at 4:30. That's what Mountain Standard Time, that's where Idaho's at. So it comes on in 10 minutes, but we're going to watch this one with some of the more updates. This is, yeah. And y'all, there's a tragedy with multiple family members, it sounds like, in Phoenix right now. There's 25, I don't even remember what they said, 25 people injured or in an accident in the LA area. There was 3 college football. There's just so much tragedy happening right now. Yeah, let's watch this one. Okay, I'm gonna mute and then we'll watch it. And of course, I have to pause it and commentate. And I'm sorry, that's really annoying with news stuff, but we'll get through it.
Murders of 4 college students have the tight-knit University of Idaho community on edge. The close friends were found dead in a home near campus on Sunday, seen together in this picture posted just hours before their deaths. The coroner still processing the gruesome murder scene.
It was very, very traumatic. Yeah.
Have you seen anything like that before?
No.
Autopsy results are pending, though the deaths have been ruled.
Just so everybody is aware of like how northern Idaho and Idaho, like this is Moscow is on the Idaho-Washington border. But it's like I said, it's a small area. They haven't had a murder since 2015, I think was the last murder that I could find in the area. Things like this thankfully don't happen often, but when they do, it's usually some horrific tragedy like this that occurs. And it is like, it's rocking the whole entire state because, again, 3 of these victims are all from northern Idaho, one very tight knit area. Everybody knows everybody.
Homicides. Investigators think that an edged weapon like a knife was used and that this was an isolated, targeted attack. Police say there are no suspects in custody and motives remain unclear. The mayor telling the New York Times it may have been a crime of passion, but later saying, we don't really know what it was. The police department saying there is no imminent threat to the community, but many are rattled.
It's all just shocking and scary.
The victims' families heartbroken and wanting answers.
There was no reason. There's no dark past. There's no dark secrets.
21-year-old Kaylee Gonzalez's sister says the senior was a bright light with an even brighter future.
She had everything going for her, absolutely everything. She had a job lined up. She had worked really hard for it. She had trips planned. Her smile lit up the room.
Their families say Kaylee and Madison Mogan, who was also killed, were as close as sisters. 21-year-old Maddie, as they called her, was in her senior year studying marketing. Their roommate, 20-year-old Xana Kernodle, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin were also murdered. Xana, a junior majoring in marketing. She worked at a local restaurant with Maddie, while 20-year-old Ethan was a triplet from Washington, majoring in sport and tourism management.
That right there, I wanted to pause it right there for a minute. He's a triplet, y'all. The one boy that was killed has 2 siblings that are like, this is such a disaster. And I feel so bad for that family. I can't even imagine. But he has, you know, it's a different thing, I think, with twins and triplets. Like they feel it on a different level. But my heart just goes out to that entire family. I can't even imagine how they all feel. It's absolutely tragic. I mean, all of them, but that's on a deep level. That's his siblings right there. He was one of the triplets.
Freshman year, his brother called him his best friend. His family is shattered.
We're just trying to process it. It's not a call that you think that you're going to have to speak with the funeral home directors and the FBI and have it hit national news.
4 young lives intertwined in life and now in death.
They should have had long, long lives beyond this.
And there is still no information on a possible motive. There is still no suspects in custody. Investigators say they are not concerned about a wider threat to the community, and the FBI is now helping. But so many there today are asking, how can the community be safe if whoever killed 4 people is still on the loose? Greg,
yeah,
back to you.
Good question. Gotti Schwartz. Gotti, thank you.
Hey, thank
So that's that one. This is a heartbreaking, like absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, Ethan's a triplet. Yep. I know his parents, it just breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks my heart. We're going to go into we're going to pull up the news conference here just a second. Oh shit. Oh, they already, hold on. They've already got it going. Hold on. All right, nobody's talking yet. We're just going to kind of monitor it. It's supposed to start in 5 minutes. So this is just the back of the news conference that they're going to play. Again, I have to stop it just because of the whole fair use stuff, but this is being streamed at the University of Idaho. They're updating it. ISP is involved, which is Idaho State Patrol, FBI. All of them are there. They're giving the most recent update. Hopefully we hear something more in this. I'm hopeful. FU Tragedy Pimps, y'all. If you missed her live last night, you have to go check it out. That was the best. She does the absolute best parodies. Hands down, the best. I understand people believe that banning guns is the answer. When yeah, and unfortunately in this one, they're saying it was a sharper object, more like a knife, and the scene was horrific. It sounds like it was absolutely horrifying. Let me check this right quick and see where we're at. We might just let it run so we don't miss anything. Can you guys still hear me? Is the echo terrible? I can mute. They're just not doing anything yet. Oh my gosh, Elle, that was great. FU, that was so, I laughed so hard. I almost had water spitting out my nose. Okay, I muted them until they get up there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry, y'all. I know this isn't like normally what I do, but this case really bothers me on a deep level. So these kids are all my oldest daughter's age. Many of us can relate to, like, I can't even imagine how these parents feel. Yeah, exactly, Crispy. Yeah. Hey, Miss Lee. They're all just walking around. I muted them for now. Nothing's being said that's of any interest yet. They're just getting ready. Pause it. They're not doing anything fun. They should start in a minute or two. Yeah, they're calling it a crime of passion is basically what it's been said so far. And they're saying that the community is not at risk. They feel it's a very targeted, isolated incident at this point. Of course, college students, this happened on Greek Row, which there was other roommates that live in the house who were not home at the time. Who's this guy? Oh, he's just going to a seat. Okay. As soon as they come on and start talking, they're just shuffling around. Their video quality is really bad. It's just, these are young, young adults, their whole life ahead of them. There's not a whole lot to say about stuff like this. I'm not a big speculation person as far as this stuff goes. Like, these are, this is a major tragedy that should be handled with care. And there's people out here speculating and running and doing all this stuff already. And law enforcement needs to handle these cases. Unfortunately, Idaho has a lot of interest right now anyways with the Michael Vaughn case, which thankfully I'm hopeful that they get answers for the family. But people are doing crazy stuff there too, and the family deserves respect and privacy, and nobody allows that to happen anymore. Then you have, oh, hold on, we're gonna unmute.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Can you hear me? Levels coming through.
Never mind. He's just mic checking. He's just mic checking. Yeah, chartreuse, and I get that, and there's always like a level of speculation that's going to happen. Of course, I think that's something that is common, but at the same time, like, it's unnecessary to the extent that some are willing to do it. Hey, Nanya. False alarm. Yep. Just a mic check 1, 2. And I'm going to end this one after we're done discussing this case because I want to keep this separate from anything else and not mix it in. In fact, I think on my backup channel, I'm going to start highlighting ongoing cases and talk about the things that are important, like Quentin Simon. Everybody seems to have forgotten Quentin Simon's still a missing person. It's a missing child, a young, and everybody's talking about it in all these other places and things, but can't we just talk about the facts of what's actually happening in these cases? Oh yeah, Spoonie, I made a backup channel. I haven't advertised it yet because I'm just like, well, I'm not, you guys know me by now. I'm not a big attention host. They're all cracking up laughing over something. I don't know what just happened here.
And again, one final reminder, Cheyenne up there is going to have a mic. If you have questions during question and answer, please raise your hand and we'll try to get it to you so that we can get audio from the questions as well. Thank you. Hear this?
Live chat reminder.
We're going to get started here in just a couple seconds.
It's nonsense on the web 2.0, I think is what it is. I'll share it after this. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I just don't. FU Tragedy Pimps, you were such a release for me last night. I don't even think you understand. Like, I would love to share that over here sometime. But I want all of the views. You deserve all the views, all of it. Like, you did so good. I can't even explain. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. That was like the best release ever. Because the stuff does get really heavy out here for sure. Okay, here they come. Can you guys hear them good? I'll be quiet. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to pause it. I'm just going to let it run and then we'll talk about it at the end. I don't care if they hit me.
Right here. My name is Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department. I'm going to be reading from my notes today because I want the information you received to be extremely accurate. We know you have questions, and so do we. That is why we're here. I'd like to thank everyone for attending this press conference. Joining me today is the Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson, University of Idaho President Scott Green, Provost and Vice President Tori Lawrence, University of Idaho Dean of Students Blaine Eccles, Latah County Sheriff Richie Skiles, Chief Deputy of Latah County Tim Best, Idaho State Police Colonel Kedrick Wills. The Moscow Police Department would like to extend our condolences to all family members, friends, the University of Idaho, and the Moscow community. This was a horrible crime that took the lives of Ethan Chapman, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves. This horrible crime has affected all of us, the families, the University of Idaho, our community, our country, and our officers. Agencies that are involved in this task force include Latah County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. As we continue our investigation, we have learned that Ethan and Xana were at a party on campus, and Madison and Kaylee were at a downtown bar. They arrived home sometime after 1:45. If anyone in our community or across our nation has any information about these times or the victim's whereabouts, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. The facts of the case that we know right now. We know that these homicides occurred in the early morning hours of Sunday, November 13th. Around noon, Moscow officers received a call of an unconscious person. Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves inside the residence on King Road. The four were stabbed with a knife, but no weapon has been located at this time. There was no sign of forced entry into the residence. Investigators are continuing to collect evidence at the scene. Investigators are working to develop a timeline to relevant events. Autopsies are taking place today on all the victims so we can continue to gather evidence and solve the crime. Investigators are working to follow up on all leads and to identify a person of interest. Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there. We cannot say that there's no threat to the community. And as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. What we don't know, the identity and location of the suspect, the location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have 25 plus investigators working this case, as well as assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Idaho State Police. We're reviewing video that has been collected, but we are asking citizens to contact us with any information you may have that will help in this investigation. Once again, we're asking anyone with a tip to call the tip line at 208-883-7180. At this time, I would like to introduce the University of Idaho President, Scott Green.
Thank you, Chief Fry.
This doesn't give me much hope, y'all.
I'm Scott Green, President of the University of Idaho, and with me is Tori Lawrence. He's our Provost, and Blaine Eccles, our Dean of Students, will be available for questions after all of the statements are made. The crime, to us, this crime and the loss of these young lives is just simply beyond comprehension. While our small community is certainly not immune to such things, it's not a situation our close-knit campus is used to dealing with. First, my deepest condolences to the families.
He's going to have a hard time.
And friends of Ethan, Kaylee, Xana, and Madison. Excuse me. Their loss has been devastating, and they were bright lights in our community and are deeply missed and remain in our thoughts and our prayers. We've been working with Moscow police since we were notified on Sunday of the crime. We've helped when asked and continually push for information whenever possible, knowing that we cannot interfere with the important work and good investigations that are occurring. We just want justice for these victims. Our focus at the university is to support our students and our employees. We are encouraging students and employees to take care of themselves as we head into Thanksgiving break. I want to take a moment to commend our faculty and staff who have been on the front lines helping our students, whether that is providing counseling to those in need of support, accommodating those who want to travel home, or engaging those who find comfort in staying busy interacting with their peers and our instructors in class. Our employees stepped up when our students needed them. While we have relied heavily on the expertise of Moscow police, we feel confident that remaining open with flexibility to leave allows our students to decide what is best for them. The weeks ahead will continue to challenge us as this loss and the circumstances around this crime become known. We will support each other as we grieve, and we'll move through this together as a Vandal family. Thank you.
I would like to have Colonel Kedrick Wills come to the podium, please.
All right, that one about took me. Poor guy.
Good afternoon. My name is Kedrick Wills. I serve as the director of the Idaho State Police. And as we have this discussion today, I'd like to express my appreciation for your attendance here, because it's important, vitally important, that we get the information that we have out to the public. Crime knows no boundaries, and these murders have shaken us to our very core. You heard the university president as well as the chief of police talk about this small community, and it's a very close, tight-knit community. And our hearts break for the families that lost their loved ones, the University of Idaho, the Moscow community, and even within our entire state. Be assured, the Idaho State Police is firmly in support of the work that the Moscow Police Department is doing, and we're providing every resource that we can to make sure that this comes to a conclusion, and the person or people that this is responsible are brought to justice. It's so important that you understand that this takes a team effort. This is teamwork with the university, with this Moscow City Police Department, the Latah County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It takes everybody to be able to do this. And it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act of getting the community the information that they need to have, with making sure that we provide a case that the Latah County Prosecutor's Office can go forward with.
Yeah.
Governor Little, Idaho's governor, has assured me that the full weight of all the resources we have within our state are available to Chief Fry and to his team. Our crime lab is also involved with processing evidence, and our law enforcement throughout the region, state and federal agencies continue to provide resources. From the Idaho State Police's perspective, we provided detectives here from this area, as well as detectives from out of the area, state police detectives, as well as patrol resources and communications assistance as well, to provide for Chief Fry and his team. Following this briefing, our communications director from the Idaho State Police, Aaron Snell, if you'd raise your hand, Aaron, he will be the contact for all press media inquiries from here on out. He'll be working closely with Chief Fry and his team. And we have additional, like I said, additional patrol and investigation resources brought to bear here as well. We want to do everything we can to make sure that this is done correctly, and that the people that are responsible for this are brought to justice.
He said people. I wonder if they feel it's one or more than one.
So at this time, I'm going to open it up to some questions that I'm sure you have, and we'll do the best we can to answer those for you.
Hello, Chief Ray.
Hello.
Thank you for having us. I'm Amanda Rowley with Crime 2 News. You mentioned that there's an indication that it's an isolated, targeted incident, and there is an individual somewhere. Can you give us a reason as to why there's that belief there is a suspect? And can you also give a little more information on the forced entry? There's no sign of forced entry, but was the door, did it seem like any of the entries were left unlocked by any means?
I'll answer the last part there just because it's at the front end of my mind. We're not 100% sure if the door was unlocked, but there was no damage to anything, and the door was still open when we got there.
And my first question,
Yeah.
if you'd like me to read.
No, I think I haven't. In these cases, we take the totality of the things that we see, and they're very dynamic, right? And they're very big, and there's a lot of information, and we try to take that information, and some of it we can't share with you, correct? But we try to take that information, we try to make the best educated decision we can. We review that as a team with our detectives, along with our prosecutors, along with the university, and we try to make that best decision on that. So we, at that time, believed that there was no a threat, and our goal is to provide safety for this community. That's why we're bringing in the resources we're bringing. We want a close to this, and we want to do everything we can to let the people in our community know that we care. We want them to feel safe. We want them to be safe. And we're going to do everything we can to do that.
There are
If I could add
only
one
about
more
60 hours in, y'all.
You asked for videos or anything from the community to help put together that timeline. We obtained a copy of Twitch video, and family members of the Gonsalves family were able to identify Maddie and Kaylee in those videos at a food truck ordering food. Is the police department, our investigators, aware of that video, and has it helped put together that timeline?
We are aware of that video, and it has helped. It gives us a time and space where we know that two of our victims were, and that helps us a ton. And we'll continue to follow up all leads that we can and continue to gather those.
Any indication of a party at the home that night?
This will be the last one. Okay, I understand. Not that we know of, not at the home. We know that the other, let me get the names exactly right here. We know that Zana and
We're at a house party.
Ethan were at a different party on campus.
Thank
But
you.
that timeline will still help us if other people know about that.
Thank you.
Chief Wright, John Webb with KHQ. On September 12th, there was a vandal alert that was sent out about a potential stabbing threat on Paradise Path. Does this have any connection with what we've seen so far?
Not that we know of it, but we're following up every lead. Every piece of information we get, we are following up to ensure that nothing has gone unturned. We want to have the individual identified, who is the suspect of this eventually. So we are literally looking into every aspect of everything.
And you guys have said repeatedly that there's no threat to the public, but we don't know who the suspect is. We don't know where he's at. How is there no threat to the public at this point?
Well, that's kind of an unknown. Like I said, we took the information that we had at the time, but we do need to be aware the individual is still out there, right? We need to be vigilant. We need to watch out for our neighbors. We're a community policing community. We've said that for years, and it's a community that watches out for each other. We need to continue to do that until we can close this off and make an arrest.
Why has there been such limited information over the past couple of days? I mean, we're almost 4 days into this. Why has it been so limited?
Yeah, it's a difficult, we have a lot of information coming in, and, we have tried to push out some information through press releases. But the reality is, I probably should have been standing here a day or so ago, but I'm here now. We're going to continue to be here. We're going to continue to give you the information we can. We care about this community. I care about this community. I've worked here for 27 years. I want this community to be the safest community around. So
the mayor's called it a crime of passion. Is there any indication that that's true?
We're looking into every aspect of this. I'm not going to stipulate whether it's one thing or another. We're going to continue to investigate until we have the facts, because really it's the facts that will drive what the cause of this is. And as we gather evidence, we'll get that. So.
Okay. One last question, if I could, Chief. Have we looked at any boyfriends or any ex-boyfriends, any spouses as a potential suspect?
None of the girls were married.
I will tell you, we're looking at everyone. Every tip we get, every lead we get, there's no one that we're not going to talk to. There's no one we're not going to interview. There's no one that we're not going to look into. And we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to make sure that nothing goes unturned, and that we do everything we can with the assistance of all the resources we have to get a final answer.
Thanks, Chief Wright.
So there were, sorry, I'm Emma Epperly with this Folks Interview. Hi. So there were other roommates who lived at that residence. Were the roommates home at the time of the attack?
No. There was other people home at that time, but we're not just focusing just on them. We're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
So since they were home, was it a hostage situation?
No, it was not.
And then they didn't call it into police. So were they injured?
They were not injured. But like I said, we're still following up with everybody that could have been in that area.
And how can you say it's a targeted attack if you don't have a suspect?
Like I said, we take the totality of the situation. We try to make the best bit of information we can with everything that comes in, and then we make our decision off of that. So at this time, I'm not going to expand upon that. But like I've said, we do have a suspect out somewhere, and we are looking for that individual to solve this.
Hi, Rachel Sun, Northwest Public Broadcasting. I just want to clarify something you said earlier. Over the past couple of days, the information that we've been getting is there's not a threat to the public. And earlier I heard you say you can't be sure that there is no threat. I just want to clarify what your stance is on that at this time.
So we still believe it's a targeted attack. But the reality is there's still a person out there who committed 4 horrible, horrible crimes. So I think we got to go back to there is a threat out there still, possibly. We don't know. We don't believe it's going to be to anybody else. But we all have to be aware of our surroundings and make sure that we're watching out for each other.
Okay, and then one other follow-up. I know you said when the call came in, it was for an unconscious person, and also that was a stabbing. It seems, just from an outside perspective looking in, like that would be not the first thing a person calling in would think.
You're right. But the report that we got was that it was an unconscious individual. It wasn't until our officers arrived on scene, went in to do caregiving check on the individual who was unconscious, that we found the scene that we found.
Okay, thank you.
I have so many questions right now.
Hi, Heather Roberts with ABC News. Just to follow up on what she asked. So the other 2 roommates were there at the time of the attack?
All the information that we have from our investigation is that yes, they were.
Okay, but they were unhurt.
That is correct.
So is there any explanation as to why it took so long then for someone to call 911? You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning, and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, you know, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Would have we loved for that to have happened? Yes, but that's not how it took place. So that's why we're investigating everything still, to try to pull all the pieces together.
Were they one of the people, were they the 911 caller?
At this point in time,
that's what I'm wondering.
I'm not going to divulge who our 911 caller is, just because I want to keep the integrity of the investigation at this point. Okay.
Okay. And last question, are you able to tell whether the same weapon was used on all 4 victims?
You know, that's why we're having the autopsies done. The autopsy will confirm that and hopefully collect some evidence for us, even from those. That's why you do the autopsies, is to try to be thorough and try to gather more. So we'll leave that would probably be something that would come out later.
Sorry, y'all, that's their audio. I don't know what's going on.
Excuse me, Derek Shug, Fox News Digital. Was there anything missing in the home, or were the purses still there? Any robbery attempt, anything like that?
Nothing that we have identified.
Nothing missing.
And I'm going to take about 2 more questions. All right.
Hi, I'm Tim with the Daily Evergreen. I was just wondering, were the 2 other individuals present at the home when police responded at noon?
Yes.
Okay.
Roommates were home when the police.
Chief, if you don't mind elaborating a bit more on those 2 people. What was it 2 people? What have those people shared about the circumstances of that night, what they saw or didn't see?
Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night. Obviously, that's part of our investigation. That's part of the information that we're trying to build our complete story with. So at that, as far as that goes, we're not going to go any further into what they know and what they don't know.
How many were there?
We believe 2.
He just said that.
Chief, have you looked into the social media accounts of all the different victims, and do you we understand that one may have had an account linked to her
here we go,
Instagram account? Have you looked into those accounts? Have you seen any sort of threats made to any of the individuals?
So we are looking at all resources. You know, we got, like I said, the Federal Bureau of Investigation helping us. We got our detectives, our forensic detectives looking into that. We're trying to pull this whole picture. We're looking at everything that we can look at, social media, etc. So to answer your question, yes, we are.
Were the victims all found in one part of the house?
I'm not going to divulge that either. That's part of our investigation. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and close
should
this
end it,
off.
yeah.
But if you'd like to, if you have any questions for the university, we'll open that up at this point in time.
Who was
this
not
poor guy.
had a chance to ask a question? Yes, over here. Yes.
Oh, thanks. Actually, I had a question for the chief, so I don't know.
Okay, well, you want to pass it?
But Nadia,
What is
I'm
the
just talking to
university
myself.
doing
I'm like,
to make their students feel safe?
Yeah, great question. At this time, I think I'll turn this over to Blaine, who's been dealing directly with our students and
Pass the buck
and dealing
here.
with those that truly still feel unsafe despite some of the
Which is
assurances and
okay.
things that we're doing. Blaine?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. The question of safety is on everyone's mind right now. We have increased campus safety patrols. Our executive director of campus safety and security, Jake Nichols, is out in the hallway actually here, and so I'm sure he'd be able to answer some of those questions. We have a campus safety escort where students can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to arrange for a security escort to be escorted across campus during the day or night. It doesn't matter at any point in time. We're also providing resources to students to help them navigate through this from an emotional standpoint. We've had drop-in counseling that has been utilized both in our counseling center as well as the student union building. And we're also supporting students, like President Green indicated, that if they want to leave and go home now, they absolutely can. We're going to support them in doing so. Many students have questions about their academics and whatnot, but this is a very dynamic, fluid situation. And we want to make sure we're supporting students and their families to get through this the way that they need to.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Washington State University is about 8 miles that way. What would you suggest that Wazoo does to make their students feel safe if they're unsafe?
Yeah, communication and encouraging students to reach out and use resources. That's a fantastic campus. I talked to their dean of students office yesterday, and they are mobilizing their support resources. All campuses have supports in place. Students just need to make sure they're leaning in and reaching out to it. And many times students don't, but we encourage that. Absolutely.
Hi, this is Hadia Thark with the Argonaut. This may be a question for Scott Green or Blaine.
That's their audio. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what's going on here.
They gain
What is happening?
comfort from interacting and staying busy with their faculty and attending classes, labs. Some are working on their semester projects. So we've heard from them. At the same time, we want to provide the ability for any student who did not feel comfortable staying around, who did not want, who was unable to process that way, that they had that opportunity to go, and we've been helping them as well. All these absences are excused. We've asked our faculty to work with those students who chose to go, so we felt this is the best way, to respond, to give as much flexibility as we could to our students and our faculty to help manage the situation. And frankly, I think they've done a very, very good job.
Is the university working with the parents or the families of the victims? Are you in touch with them?
They are. I'll turn that back over to Blaine. I know he's been we both have been in contact with the families, but he's been very close to it. And so, Blaine, you want to take that question?
Absolutely. One of the hardest jobs I have is talking to parents of students who have died. It's the absolute worst part of my job. And so I've reached out and made contact with all the families. We've offered our support, and we're going to stay in constant contact with them. I communicated with them almost every day. We usually give a little space and time before we reach out, just for the sheer shock of absorbing the loss of a child and what that looks like. But we're going to stay in support of them moving forward for the weeks and months to come, and in whatever capacity they need.
We've talked to a few of them and they've expressed some frustration with the lack of communication from investigators and from the officials involved on that side of it. Has the university heard that from them? How are you working with them to help kind of close that communication gap?
Sure. I do know that Captain Barrett from the Moscow Police Department is also in constant contact with them. He reaches out to them on a regular basis from that standpoint. I think it's safe to say everyone, the families most of all, want information, and they want justice. And I can't do anything but honor what their needs are and what they are. whenever I hear a concern from the family members about what's going on, I definitely make sure I communicate that to the Moscow Police Department. They're very busy. They're working, the men and women of this department are working really hard on their behalf and on our community's
They didn't
behalf.
say, Melissa.
But if I can be a conduit to share information, we're absolutely going to do that.
Has there been any update on the candlelight vigil that is postponed till after the break?
I believe it's November 30th.
November 30th.
November
At what time?
We're looking at 5 or 5:30. We're trying to finalize. Well, let me say.
Yeah.
There was a candlelight vigil that was originally scheduled tonight, but because of the volume of students who have left, we want to make sure we're creating a space where they can participate. We don't want someone driving back during this time to do that. So we've rescheduled to November 30th. We haven't finalized the time. We will definitely be sharing that out to our students in our community and the larger community. We're just finalizing some details. We're going to communicate that with the families as well. It'll be on campus. We haven't figured out the location yet because we're going to be monitoring what the weather looks like. We anticipate a large amount of individuals. That being said, we also have two communities that are just providing beautiful support. There's a candlelight vigil in Boise tonight in honor of our lost students. And there's also a candlelight vigil tonight in Coeur d'Alene. And I say nothing but thank you and for the love and support from those communities that are supporting us. And we've seen that support come across the country and around the world for the University of Idaho and these families. And so it's a beautiful thing.
President Green, could you talk a little bit about the vandal alert that involved the knife and how the university handled it and what you found in that case?
Yeah, so basically we were just responding to the information that we had from the Moscow Police Department at that time. We have an incident response team. We gathered Sunday as we were notified by the Moscow Police Department that there had been a crime committed. At the time, we weren't sure if they were students or not, and we wanted to provide help to the Moscow Police Department, and we think we were able to do that successfully to help them, identify those students and contact their relatives. So, beyond that, it was just trying to understand what the assessment was of the risk to the campus. And we relied on our subject matter experts, as you've heard. They know more than any of us about this. And then based on that, we started making decisions about, how to move forward this week.
Yeah. And so what were those decisions around that initial alert? What was the conclusion you had at that point about the level of risk?
Well, of course, your first, on the first vandal alert, it was high risk. We had really no information, and we asked our students to shelter in place, and until we got the all clear, from, well, it wasn't all clear, but a reduced risk where we could where students could start to move around more freely. We had people sheltering in places like the library, and the Pittman Center and places around campus. And we didn't want to keep them there all night if we didn't have to. And so as soon as Moscow Police Department determined that it was safe for them to begin moving around but be vigilant, we sent the other vandal alerts.
Yeah, my apologies. I was referring to the earlier vandal alert involving the threatening with the knife that happened in September.
Yeah, you want to respond to that? Thank you, Blaine.
So that vandal alert, we had a group of students walking back to Greek Row from a location off campus. They encountered an individual who was not affiliated with the university. They got into, from my understanding, a verbal altercation, and he ended up flashing a knife at them. It was not a stabbing. It was not a stabbing attack. It was a threat to the best that we know. We sent out a vandal alert warning the individuals of our campus community at that time. I don't have the specific date, but it's out there from that aspect of it. And it's my understanding that individual then later turned himself into law enforcement, and they've addressed what that happens.
So it's not connected in any way to this homicide?
That's a question for law enforcement.
They're not going to say that.
I know about the incident. I don't know the individual because he's not affiliated with the university. So my understanding, he turned himself into law enforcement. So I can't answer the question of whether he's connected with this or not.
So we want to thank you again for coming. That's going to be all the questions we take at this time. We appreciate you coming and spending time with us, and we will continue to put out information as we have time. And we want to reassure the community that the Moscow Police Department and everybody working on this will do everything we can. We love this community. We've a lot of us have went to the University of Idaho, and We are vandals, and we will do everything we can to solve this. Thank you.
All right, y'all. I paused that for a minute. We can go back and pick some stuff out of that, but I am so confused. How do you all feel right now? I feel so much more confused. First of all, he just said a lot without saying a lot. And what happened there at the end that he didn't confirm that incident from September, like he should have said something there. Because that's going to cause people to go wild down that rabbit hole, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So he said people, and then he said an individual. At first, they said, and I don't know if it was from police or if it was just speculation again that was going around, but at first it said that the roommates were not home. That was what had first happened. And he just confirmed that 2 roommates were in the home. So granted, young college kids, Greek Row is off the university campus. It's a little bit away. There's all sorts of houses. I'm assuming it's one that has an upstairs and a downstairs. So they might not have heard a single thing. I mean, there is a good possibility of that. They could have been out partying, came home, passed out. So what we do know is that there was 4 people that were murdered. 1 boy, 3 girls. Ethan and Xana were at a party together. The other 2 girls were downtown at a bar. Then they were later seen at a food truck. So time frame between then. So who was with the 2 groups of people? Where were they at is things we don't know exactly. Who were they around? The time from the girls that they were seen at the food truck to the incident, which they're saying was between 3 and 4 in the morning. So what time did they all arrive home? Was the person already in the home? Unfortunately, Greek Row houses, a lot of times they leave the front door unlocked and then they just lock their bedroom doors and stuff because there's so many people coming and going. 6 people in the house, but only 4 murdered. Was done with a knife. We don't know if it was multiple knives. We don't know if the knife was brought with them. We don't know if the knife was taken from the home. We don't know. They have not recovered any weapon at this point in time. Autopsies are pending. I took notes too. There was something mentioned about Paradise Pass, which I want to look into. They were so Ethan and Xana were at a party on campus. Girls were at a bar downtown. They are back and forth with saying that it's an isolated and targeted incident is how they feel about it. But at the same time, trying to say that there's still a suspect out there. They don't know who it is. So is there a risk? Yes, of course. Yes. Nanya, come on up. Hold on. Let me grab it for you. My brain's like all over the place, y'all. I was not expecting that. I was really hopeful that they were going to have more information. This is sad. Okay, I sent it to you. Yeah, Kiki, me too. That seems, granted, think about it. There could have been headphones on. They could be on a different level of the house. They could have been passed out. It just seems there's a lots of possibilities, but it still seems very odd. My question, the big thing that I have on this too, is they mentioned that it was called in as an unconscious person. Why would that be? Okay, Nanya, I gotcha. There you are. Why would they call it in as an unconscious person? He didn't clarify. He won't say who the 911 caller was, but why was it reported that way?
And it wasn't reported until noon
Right.
the next day that there was an unconscious person. And I'm not trying to be funny. So here's my thing, right? So everybody who went to the home in the media, I just was reading online, everybody says from what they've seen, like, just it's crazy to see. And there's an excessive amount of blood from what they can see just from the press lines, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was blood.
So it's very, very peculiar that somebody calls in an unconscious body. Like, how do you ignore all the blood around you and not freak out, but you report an unconscious body?
That's what I'm wondering, if the caller, I mean, that's again speculation because of things he said, but it just seems really odd. Unconscious, and they're all saying that there's blood everywhere. It was a horrible scene, gruesome.
Yeah.
And they didn't report that.
Well, now, okay. So here's my thing. It was essentially, it was early in the morning on Sunday morning, right?
3 to 4 o'clock. Yep.
Okay. So let's just say I went out with my friends last night. It's a fraternity, right? So I went out and I got freaking hammered. It's Saturday night. I go out, I get hammered, I get like messed up, right? I
Mhm.
get back home, I may just pass the heck out.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
I put my headphones in to fall asleep. I probably wouldn't need it if I was about to pass out, but I passed the hell out.
Yeah.
I stay out until the next morning when I come to, but maybe I don't come to until like 11. If it's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, to me, it is reasonable to think that you may sleep till 11 on Sunday when you don't really have anything to do and you are hungover.
Right.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't drink and I've never done drugs, so I could be completely wrong.
No, it's super reasonable. I mean, it's super reasonable to think that. I mean, there's many possibilities. A lot of those Greek row houses are multiple stories, older homes. So again, they could be on a completely, there's so many things that we don't know. Where were they found? Were they all in one room? Were they in multiple rooms? There's so many things we don't know.
I joked about it earlier, but in college, I actually did take forensic psychology classes. And one of the biggest things that like is a telltale sign is they are an emotional act, right? And it's an emotion that is too fired up that makes people do that. Typically, it is rage. So that's typical, but not always. I mean, I've never known anybody to get so happy they stab somebody. So I guess that's
Not only
makes
that,
sense.
but it's a very physical act. So it's a very, to be able to murder one person, let alone 4 who are early 20s, physically fit, 4 of them, there's physical, then you would think.
But a stabbing is very personal.
If it's only one person too.
And that's what doesn't make sense to me is,
Yeah.
okay, let's just say the roommates came in so messed up that they don't even see the blood, right? Let's just say the 2 people that are in it, they're knocked out until noon.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else, I don't think the roommates called it in. I believe somebody who had something to do with it called it in. That's me personally. The thing I can't get over is, how do you take out 4 people as one person? Like, that's literally
exactly. Yeah.
with no noise, no, like, and again, if we're talking like a frat house, you have to imagine, yes, there's lots of rooms in this frat house, but the rooms are separated. So
Well,
you
this
just
would have
went
been,
room by room by room.
This wouldn't have been the frat house. This would be a sorority house because I think the 3 girls lived there and
Well,
Ethan.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is the 3 girls. But to me, it's the same type of design in my head, at least.
Yep, exactly. It is.
It's still rooms that are separated from each other where people could get out and could get away.
And in frat houses and stuff like that too, this is something they're used to, people coming and going, because like I said, the door is usually open. They lock their personal rooms, but people come and go out of those houses so much that there's a lot of questions. The noise, physically exhausting to stab one person, let alone 4 people. How could you do that much damage and not get cut? There had to have been blood on the
Yeah.
person.
And I know somebody in the there's a lot of comments right now, but somebody earlier in the comments had said, I bet you in all that blood, because like a knife, imagine, I mean, even if you're just cutting up chicken, let's just say, right? Imagine like it's a rigid, and I don't want to get too graphic, so I'll try and keep it to a minimum, but when I cut a piece of chicken, right, that chicken is going to give me some resistance. And if I'm flailing it all over the place kind of a thing, then it is highly likely that I will cut myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, they were not. The officers just said that they were not tied up. Manic alien, somebody asked that. So Rayanne asked a little while ago, can you play the clip where the news shows the blood on the outside of the house, like escaping kind of?
Let me see if I can find it. Trying to remember which one it is that shows the blood.
Could the killer have been on some type of drug that caused this to happen? Honestly, my first thought was there's going to be some type of mental health issues in play. That was my first thought, but we'll see.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, let me mute.
No, you're okay. I gotta take this one out. Stop screen, present, share screen. Okay, we're just going to look at a few of these different ones right quick. So this is the girls, 2 of the girls that were downtown at the bar. This is when they were spotted at the food truck, just so everybody knows. And you'll notice there's people around them. They don't have any volume besides music. So you see the girls. Notice the guy with the hood back here that's circled?
Yeah.
I wonder why they're pointing him out.
Maybe he was there the whole time, but not really interacting with anybody, maybe?
They move, he moves.
He doesn't seem to be talking to anybody.
Okay. So there's that. That's from the Twitch video. Now let me find the other one. Did they remove it? I wonder. You can talk, Danya. Sorry.
I was reading the comments. Sorry, I was trying to catch up because I was watching that. Now, right, it is creepy shop that he's watching them, but sometimes it could be like, maybe, I mean, the bad part about those clips, which I think it really makes it, because we all have seen where somebody is going to see that clip and immediately we're going to zoom into that guy's face. We're going to find him. We're going to find his Facebook. We're going to go out to his house and find out what he was doing there. Like, it becomes so extreme. But really, if you had watched the whole video, let's just say, I don't know if there's an entire, I'd have to do some more research because this is my first time hearing about this. So there's a lot of, all of this is just speculation for me because I don't have a lot of answers. So I want to put that out there so nobody runs with what I'm saying. But if you watch that whole video, maybe you would see that he was already there before they came. That would change the context.
he could have been with them too. We don't know who they were with. He could have been driving them. He could be, there's so many possibilities that it's hard to say anything from that. It's just interesting that the New York Post circled his face. Nobody else is around, which again, that's why people will take off and run with it. But
yeah,
something leads me to believe that there's something. Let me go to this one on Good Morning America and see if this has anything with it. Hold on, I gotta go back here. Oh.
Now it's a new detail.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Add to the stream.
Faxmatic alien.
I know this is a lot, y'all. I'm sorry. This is a really sad story, but this is, yeah, exactly. He could be a friend very easily. We don't know. I hope with time we
Yes,
find more.
AKA Jenny. I agree. Right, Spoonie. Right. We don't know anybody who would do that, right? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're okay.
In the college murder mystery at the University of Idaho. Kana Whitworth is in Moscow, Idaho, with more on what police have said about the 4 students found dead. Good morning, Kana.
Michael, good morning. Authorities have remained tight-lipped about this investigation, but they have said that all 4 students were killed inside that apartment with what they described as an edged weapon. That's a detail that sent shockwaves through this tight-knit community, and many this morning are questioning the police assurances that everybody's safe.
This morning, the hunt is on for a suspected killer following the horrifying homicides of 4 University of Idaho students at an off-campus apartment.
It's just not something that you can comprehend in that moment.
Authorities now saying an edged weapon, such as a knife, was used in the homicide over the weekend. They believe it was an isolated and targeted incident. The deadly attack happening in the apartment shared by the 3 women, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, and Shauna Kernodle, who was also with her longtime boyfriend, Ethan Chapin. One of their friends telling Good Morning America she was with them just hours before.
It was just a party setting, so everyone was just socializing with each other. And with Kaylee, she seems like her usual bubbly self. So nothing suspicious.
The popular foursome heavily involved in Greek life on campus. Flags outside their sororities and fraternities at half staff. The restaurant where both Shanna and Madison worked, closing its doors. Overnight, Kaylee's family releasing a statement on behalf of their daughter and Madison, a close family friend, saying, "To whomever is responsible, we will find you. We will never stop. The pain you caused has fueled our hatred and sealed your fate. Justice will be served." Chapin's mother also telling ABC News the victims were found by a friend, adding, "We know they were killed with a knife. We know there was somebody that had to have been in that home." But this morning, like many others, she is desperate for more details to be released.
You have the first homicides in this city in 8 years. And do you think police have no leads at this point?
Well, I don't know if they have leads per se or any individuals of interest, but I think there's probably some arrows pointing them in certain directions.
So then how can they tell the community that it's safe?
I think from the evidence that exists on site, the conclusion was fairly straightforward that this was targeted, isolated, doesn't pertain to any other location or any other individuals in the city.
Moscow police saying they do not believe there is an imminent threat to the community, but some people don't feel safe.
We don't have a full story. We're being told, don't worry, there's not a threat, but we're not being told why we shouldn't worry. That adds to the heaviness of loss.
Now, authorities are asking that people remain vigilant, that they report anything suspicious. The FBI has joined the state and local authorities as they try to piece together a timeline here. But Michael, as of this morning, authorities have still not publicly named a suspect.
All right, Kana, thank you so much for that.
So let me tell you what's interesting, seeing the away pictures of that home, right? So where the entrance is, looks like you probably have to go up steps to get to the main floor and then up the steps to go to the upstairs floor.
Yep.
that kind of changes things a little bit, because that to me, other than the fact that they said no, but there was no forced entry, that means somebody came home with them that night. Or somebody was already in the house before they got home. Maybe a roommate let, somebody's ex-boyfriend in, or ex-girlfriend, whatever, ex-lover, side piece, who knows? But maybe somebody let them in thinking, oh, she said to meet her here, didn't know. And then that person was there waiting when they got to the house. Waited, maybe they hid until everybody was in bed and situated.
This is just tragic, like so tragic. And that's, the one family released a statement on behalf of both girls because they were best friends from middle school. Like, these are small areas, and that's what people don't understand. Like, the girls, they all knew each other for a long time. So is it somebody from back home that they knew? Is it somebody from camp? I mean, there's just so many possibilities right now.
Well, yeah, but they're old enough. They should be. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but they've got to at least be sophomores at this point. Sophomores to
Two of them were
juniors.
seniors. I think two of them were seniors. One was a junior, and Ethan was a freshman, I think. I might
Yeah,
have
so
that wrong.
somebody brooding from back home after 3-4 years, that's,
I know, it's
to
just
me, that's unlikely.
It's very unlikely. It's got to be. I mean, there's so many possibilities, and they really left everything on the table at this point. They legit
Yeah.
left everything on the table.
See, the only reason why I think it can't be a roommate, right, is because here's my thought process, right? So if you think, okay, there's 5 females living in this home, right? Females are catty, we're bitches. I get that part. Okay, fine. And we can do some crazy shit at times, right? When we get jealous and whatever. However, it would be hard for one female that looks, I'm guessing they're probably going to be around the same size as those gals, right? Imagine somebody like that trying to take out the guy. That would be really hard, unless he was like drugged, maybe.
There's just so many things with that, because especially where the two girls were at one place and the other two were at another place. I want to know who met up with them, who came home at the same time. Was there other people that came to visit the other roommate? Like, there's a big piece of this from the last time the girls were seen at the food truck to the time they got home when Ethan and Xana got home. Like, there's a lot of details there that hopefully
Well,
will
yeah,
give them.
but okay, so you've got them my thing is this, you've got them at the food truck at 1 or 2 o'clock, they said?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't
So,
think.
and then you don't have anybody reporting them until noon, which they know it didn't happen at noon. They keep saying it happened around 3 or 4.
In the
So,
morning.
I mean, if you're at the food truck at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're essentially deceased by 4 o'clock, that's not a very big window for the 4 of you to have linked back up, got to the house, and somebody took all 4 of you out and left the other 2 roommates alive.
Yeah, did they not know the other 2 were home already? Like, that's what I'm wondering, if the other 2 were already home, passed out in their beds, completely in a different area, and then, there's just so many. It's tragic no matter what, and I just hope that they can figure it out fast. Because that's the other thing, they're saying there's no threat.
Well, it to me, what that says is that means, like, they keep saying this was a targeted attack and there's no threats to the community. That means somebody that these people knew came and did this to them. So this was a personal attack on one of them. You don't have to worry about them. They don't got no beef with you. Their beef was within those 4 people.
Yeah, they had
And
one.
really, maybe, just maybe when the guy got stabbed up. I mean, again, it doesn't take much, right? So again, not to get too graphic, but if you stab somebody in the right spot, they will be down and out pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Does the University of Idaho have biology classes or medical? Are they known for their medical programs, maybe?
No, they're not.
Okay. All right.
No.
I don't know anything.
They have programs like that, but they're not a teaching hospital or anything of that nature. No.
No, it was a sorority apartment, LG. So
Yeah, it was a
the guy was there because he's a long-term girl boyfriend of one of the girls.
Yes, he's in a frat, but he was at the sorority house staying with his girlfriend Xana. Ethan and Xana were a couple, and then the other two girls were together downtown.
Maybe the two girls come from the taco place, were being attacked, and the couple comes out to see what is happening, and then they are attacked.
That's a possibility. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. I just feel like they left everything on the table, but also opened up a lot of confusion now with stating that the other roommates were home. I mean, I'm glad that they said that, but I
So
think
Rocket, they didn't say, they said the door was open when police arrived, and there is not any forced entry.
yeah, there was no sign of anything broken. There was no sign of anything taken from the home that they noticed. Again, a sorority house, people coming and going all the
People come and
time.
go, right?
A ton of that's the other thing you're going to have a problem with. There's going to be a lot of DNA if there's been parties in the home. I mean, there's a very complex nature here. Underside of arm,
Underside of an arm, major artery, bleeds off as that root. I don't know, Mannequin. I know your femoral artery, which is in your thigh, I believe, and then your whatever the one is in your neck. That's the only two I know of off the top of my head. But if anybody here has a YouTube issued certificate for their medical degree, they may have the answer for you.
Yeah, they don't lock the houses usually. That's what I said. They usually lock. Like if you have been in sorority houses, come on, y'all didn't party at the frat houses. I used to hang out with the frat boys. So
No, I didn't.
Don't get me started on my experiences there, but because they're all putzes, let me tell you. But
a brachial artery. Thank you, Amethyst, with your medical degree.
It's not like a normal apartment. It's multiple people that live in one unit usually, and they lock their individual rooms. They share the main living quarters, the kitchen, things like that. And then their rooms are where they usually lock. So the front door, because people are coming and going all the time in those houses.
So again, I am not encouraging anybody to go and do this, but this is just a Nunya's head, trip through Nunya's head. Enjoy the ride.
Where are we headed?
For me, if it was me, I would be looking at the girls, their friends, and their social medias, right? All I'm looking for is just to kind of build the scene in my head, I guess. But all I'm looking for is pictures where like maybe they posted a selfie on the couch together, right? But in the background, you can see that bottom floor is all kitchen and living room. Now that tells me somebody had to actually go up 2 floors where all the rooms are right next to each other, kind of a thing, versus maybe some rooms were on the main floor, some of the rooms you don't know right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You know what this is giving me though? Ted Bundy vibes. Do you know anything about when he went to the Florida campus?
No.
Think about that. Some of you are going to.
I tend to obsess on serial killers, so I definitely try and stay away from it because it's a rabbit hole I love to fall into for sure.
Well, the reason I mention him is because he was not a very big framed man and did a lot of damage and not very long. And he like walked in basically and walked right out because of the same kind of thing. Like he was in a dormitory, but not a very big man at all. Like there's just a lot of.
Yeah. But how did he take them out? Was it through stabbing?
What did he use on them? I think those.
Now here's the thing. I could see if somebody was passed out or asleep, like a girl is in her room, you passed out sleep, you walk up behind her, you slide a rope over her, and then boom, you suffocate her out. She wouldn't be able to scream.
Yeah, but
so I could see if that was what somebody did and slowly went through each room and took them out. Okay. I just really struggle with 4 people. That is really
he beat them. He strangled them and beat them with something, a club-like object. He killed 2 and injured 3 more at FSU. Yeah. That was in 78 that he did that. Yeah, he beat them with something. That's exactly strangled and then beat them with something. His victims were always terrible, but he's not a very big man either. And he left some of his victims like there's
Yeah, he said somebody said earlier he left some of them alive.
No to bond. Yeah, he left 3 of them. He had 3 that he injured severely and 2 that he killed. 3 rooms. Yeah. Crazy. This is just
He stabbed and strangled them, but the other.
I'm looking it up right now.
3 rooms. Interesting.
Oh, this is a really
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be, running head first down this rabbit hole. Somebody mentioned earlier that the guy in the video looks sus to them, right? And I don't disagree. It definitely, but I also have learned, thanks to MGL, I have learned that a clip is only what it can show you.
Yeah, there's a lot to clips.
So to me, I want to see where they walk up. Does he walk up behind them? Was he already following them? Was he already there? I want to see when they walk away. Does he walk away? Does somebody walk up and meet up with him and he just was standing there waiting on his friends? Like that, none of that is in the clip. And to me, that is the context that's needed to rule him in or out. Now, don't get me wrong. If he walks up when they walk up and then he walks away when they walk away, 100%. I'm with you.
Oh, wait. Is this the one with Manuel Tabota? Gainesville?
Daniel?
Is that what they're talking about? I think.
Yeah, that's what Hannah was talking about earlier.
5 student murders in Florida. This was in 20. Whoa.
I'm really getting stalker vibes the more and more I look at stuff. I don't know why, but it's just nagging me. Maybe even an ex-stalker or turned down date that became obsessed.
Yeah, something feels very personal.
I mean, and not to be funny, maybe it can be a female who may have some issues or insecurities, and maybe they've been bullying the hell out of her as sorority girls. Maybe it's somebody who couldn't get into the sorority like them. That's possible. I would struggle to see it with the guy, but who knows?
There's a really odd I don't know if any of you guys are from the Midwest, northern region or anything. There was a murder in a town by the name of Florence, Montana, years ago when I was young, and it was 3 hairdressers, broad daylight. A guy walked in on US 93, which is a main road, brutally killed the ladies in the shop and walked right out, and they still have never. I mean, there's shit like this happens, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes it just doesn't make any sense and they still walk free.
Wait a second. So Rocket Volleys, thank you. I swear I'm going to go find this video. As soon as this live ends, I'm going to go find all these videos that you guys were talking about. So Rocket Volley says he arrives walking between them, and then it looks like they ignore him in the video.
Well,
can you see if you could find more of that video? Are you willing to look at that?
Yeah, let me look. Tell me where I'm going, y'all.
I wonder if the victims knew who it was. One of those killers used mirrors and position there. Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, there's some.
I don't want to not be able to sleep tonight. I'm a scaredy cat.
We'll do a segment on that Florence murder, the Florence.
I'm wondering if this could have been something like a copycat or just someone who, like Nunya said, had issues with them. The fact that the police, I mean, even though they're not naming a suspect, they may not know who it is, but there has to be something that the police have seen there that tells them, oh, yeah, this is, oh, yeah, you already know this is so-and-so, such as, or, maybe not a person, but, again, if you watch the first 48, which, again, gives you all certificates to be able to be law enforcement and detectives and everything else. But you see, when they first get there, most of the police know who they're looking for, not by person, right? But, this is, this person really knew them. And they can tell that by when they look at that scene. They start to come up with some kind of, I'm thinking maybe they went to go rob the house. The person walked in and interrupted them, and that's how this happened. right? So you start to see those different you start to see these different little things. I think from what I've seen, law enforcement starts to see those things. They see so much of it, unfortunately, that they may have looked at this and said, yeah, this was absolutely personal towards one of them. We just need to figure out who it is and who it was against, and then we can go from there. So
This is crazy.
Oh, knock knock. Hey, Commander.
That's a Twitch video, isn't it?
I don't know.
Where is that video from originally? Does anybody know where that video surfaced from?
Link to the food truck clip. I don't know if he can.
I'm searching still.
Okay.
I think they said it's a Twitch video, but
yes, one of the news showed the clip as the girls walk away. The guy pointed to them and walked towards the same direction. It was 1:56 a.m. I think.
Fox has it. I'll grab Fox's link, I think.
Okay. An ex-housemate maybe still has the key, knows the way around the house. Good point, Tracy. Keep in mind to always be kind. You never know what sets people off these days. Listen, I agree. I'm not very kind, but I do agree with you. It's a Twitch stream.
It is a
Oh,
Twitch
LG put the link in. I don't know if that's the link you're looking for.
Okay, hold on. Let me
The
see what
news story has the video. Okay, well, I hope it's not just a clip of the video. Different approaches based on what they find on the scene, which they will not disclose. Yes, Chartreuse.
They're talking about that one that we just watched.
Oh, the food truck was streaming on Twitch.
Yeah, that's the clip we already played. You guys want me to play that same one again?
No, but so here's my thing though. So everybody is clipping with the food, but is the original streaming from that day? Is the original stream from that day still up?
Oh, I don't know. From the probably not. Let me look.
Chartreuse said the New York Post is the MGL of media. Sensationalism, not serious journalism. I know.
And they add all the music behind it. And that's why I was like, I don't even want to play this again. Like, but
LG says it has 4 angles.
Okay.
RJ says let's play it.
Okay.
Just play the video. Nonsense.
I know they're all like, you guys gotta
We
remember.
want the video. We want the video. It's all a whole riot for the video in the comments. And watch, here's gonna come. What was it? No one's home. No one's home is gonna be like, see, I told you every time you let Nunya on your panel, she just talks so much. Nonsense, you just have to do better.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen that profile in a while, actually.
RL, yeah, I agree. If they deem it as evidence, they will take the video down. I think so too.
All right. I found
it. Get it together, nonsense on the web. Exactly, Commander.
Oh shit. Don't play yet. Shit. Okay, hold on. Y'all know I struggle with the sharing screen stuff.
What in the cops is going on over there?
Just wait, watch. It's not me this time. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Welcome back.
There he is right there.
So what you want to do is we'll actually do this. There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
How many more do you need? That's the second one? Awesome.
Dawn's mom. Wait. Yeah, one more.
Maybe I didn't have a treatment.
It's right here.
And then what was the Mac?
Don't forget to remove the spoon.
The carbonara Mac of the week.
Here, I'll grab it for you.
Excellent. And then click see rewards.
Enjoy.
And it looks like you not quite have enough points yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
$10 for you.
Perfect.
I do have a big burrito pork here for you.
Cool. Thank you.
478. Thank you very much. Where'd the pen go, guys? Where's my pen? How are you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I seem to have lost my pen, but that's fine.
There he
What
is
can I get
right
for you?
there.
Can I get
Just 2 tacos?
He's watching them.
I get
Thank you.
and then, oh yeah. How many fruit tacos would you like?
Hold on, I'm gonna pause this for a minute. Y'all, can you see it when I circle it with the thing? The cursor?
The mouse? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can see him on the screen.
Because he switches screens right there. I wasn't sure if everybody was following, but he does switch screens. Okay, let's go back to it.
It's one, but they're like
He's right
6 to
here.
7 ounce tacos. They're not like small little street tacos. I normally eat 2, 3 is a lot.
Here's the girls.
For me.
Right there.
So one would be fine if I was getting or yeah.
He's texting.
Yeah, that's gonna be almost 2 pounds of food.
I better get 2.
Okay, you got it. 2 pork tacos? Done. 1 5 cheese, 1 basil pesto, 2 pork tacos, $24.50 for you.
Thank you. 2 Don Toms.
$79. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna do this. Hold on. If we decide, since we listed.
Oh, people have fallen. People have fallen over reduced for you. Sorry, I'm talking to Twitch stream. Oh, you're so good. Absolutely. Thank you. How are you doing? Pretty good. Yourself? I'm doing extremely well. What sounds good? Can I get a big burrito? Yeah. For the big burrito, would you like pork or chicken? Chicken. Got it.
Is that it? Yep, that's it.
Interesting.
That gives me weird vibes.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he definitely follows them. Yeah, he moves over to where they are. I agree.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I can see that there's more footage.
There's more?
It looks like he strikes up a conversation with that dude to be near the girls.
Yeah, and he moves, like he moved from one camera to the other, and you just kind of lose him off screen. But
right,
he's watching. The girl in the pink seems to be annoyed. The girl in the pink top seems to try to keep, like, if you watch her body language when she's leaning up against, she is like parallel to him.
Can we play it one more time? I don't know if everybody's going to be like, oh my God, none yet. God, we watched it already.
Yeah, we can play it again.
I'm sorry if anybody is I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Well, too bad. They tell me to get a new subject, so we're
Manic Alien, I agree.
Here we go. It's gonna load.
Can we pause it when we see them or him? Can we kind of pause it just to point out, because I seen Kathy P was like, well, which one is him?
Oh yeah.
And then also, just so everybody knows,
Brendan, you're not. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. On YouTube, you can actually pinch your screen and zoom in so that you can actually make that little tiny screen on Nonsens's screen bigger for you. So,
give me just a
hope
minute.
that helps you see it better.
Fat. It's the shirt. Look at Nate. His true classic is tight around the chest and shoulders and arms, and then it's
It's fun to watch other people dance.
All right.
Thank you, Chaotic.
I'm going to try and circle it. I need to figure out how to do all these things so I can get like a pen and like highlight it and all of that cool stuff, but I don't know how to do any of that. So bear with me, y'all. Okay, let's get into this. I'm going to mute and then I'm going to pause it and come back.
So currently they are not on screen, right? Oh, that's them walking up right there, right?
Every time you pause it, it makes it smaller. That's
okay.
annoying. Okay, so they're right here in the upper, which would be when I'm looking at the screen, it's my left-hand corner.
Yeah.
You can see them coming into the screen. There's
Guy
a girl
with the yellow jackets in the front.
Yep, the guy in the yellow jacket here, and then there's one of them in a white and I think a gray, not the girl in the white coat. Okay, and we'll continue to pause.
Girl with the pink shirt?
Pink shirt, yep.
Okay.
Hello. Right here, these two. The two at the food truck right here. Okay.
So bottom left. What is going on here?
This is every time you move it, it gets smaller.
Okay, so bottom left is girl in the white gray hoodie, right?
Bottom left. What?
So bottom left, little head at the bottom.
Okay.
Is the girl in the gray hoodie, which is one of them. Can we have a name? Does anybody know who that is? That's one of them, but which one of them is that?
Let me see. Is that Kaylee or is that the Moen girl? Ah, see? What?
Attention homeowners. Can we install one of our designer
Let me
metal?
see if I can actually. Well, no, because then you'd have to share your screen again.
Designer metal roofing styles on homes of
New details this morning in that horrific murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. Officials now saying the attack at their off-campus house was targeted with a, quote, edged weapon, such as a knife. Police are not releasing any more details than that, but they say there is no concern for public safety.
Thank you, AKA Jenny.
No suspects in custody. Fox Nation host Nancy Grace joins us now. Good morning to you, Nancy.
Good morning. I appreciate the authorities are saying no one is at risk. There's no risk to the community, but students are leaving in droves after a quadruple murder at an off-campus home, 6-bedroom, 3-bath. And no one has been arrested yet, not even a person of interest named. Now, local police there in Moscow, Idaho, have brought in the state police, which is a good thing, not to suggest that they're in any way inept. It's just that the state police have many more resources to help. Interesting, they're saying a serrated edge was the weapon. That leads us to believe it was a knife. Very interesting how 4 students can be overcome by one person with a knife, not a gun. There is speculation there's more than one defendant. Sounds unlikely to me.
Oh, God, not Nancy Grace.
Was found on the 2nd floor. No suggestion as to where the women were found. Was he killed first and then the others killed after? Very curious as to whether they were asleep at the time.
Any chance there could be suicide? Maybe stab 3 of them and then stab themselves?
Okay.
But very
I
hard
can't
to
stand
believe. If
Nancy
you
Grace.
look at a photo.
Or I don't like Nancy.
I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't. But how do we get back to the Twitch video we were actually watching?
She's a mess. Well, that's what it took us from that to, oh, wait a second. What is this? Oh, this is that vandal alert that they were talking about. Can you guys see this, what I'm showing?
Yeah.
This is that vandal alert that they were showing. But they said that's, the police officers didn't say. Okay, let me find that video. I just want a still of that so we can talk through it. Right here is the video or the photo with the blood coming out of the siding.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you guys didn't see that.
I mean, that has to be a lot of.
That's a lot
of blood. If it's coming out the siding of the house.
That's
oh my God. Steeping from the 1st floor and dropping down an exterior wall. Wow.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. That must have been what Rayanne was talking about earlier.
Yep. This is Xana and Ethan.
Yeah, it is Hannah.
Kaylee and Madison. Let me go back to the Twitch video. Hold on. Let me go over here. Remove that for a minute. because I don't know what I'm going to show here in a second.
Liza, I'm prone to believe that too. We'll find out.
All right, ready? We're going to do this video again.
Okay.
I'm just going to pause it when we get there.
Okay, so hold on. Before you even start it, right? So here we have the clip. We're going to be watching the upper left-hand one, where currently there is a man with a hat sitting at the front of the food truck line. Behind him is a lady with the white jacket with fur on it. Now, I guess we should point out that the guy with the hoodie is not in this photo yet.
He's not in the lower portion of the photo yet either. The girls and the guy, none
So
of
none of them are there right now. So he
No.
must come when they come.
The girls walk up and will, where the guy is with the tan colored hat and the tan colored shirt is right now in the upper left hand side.
They go there.
That's exactly where the girls go to. So 2 of the murder victims, Kaylee and Madison, unfortunately, it's just horrible to even say this, but they walk up and go right to the food counter. The girl in the white jacket and the guy in the yellow sweater are in this video the entire time, and the girls kind of maneuver around them at all times. They kind of maneuver around them, but they don't seem to really interact with them. So let's get into it. Okay, here we go. Tell me if you want me to pause it, because this weird thing goes all twitchy.
All right.
It's fun to watch other people miserable. Have a good night.
There they are right now.
Hold on. Pause.
Ah,
So he did. So what is his name? This guy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go try and go back. Rocket Volleys. So you are correct. He walks up in the middle of the 2 of them. Oh, not again.
It does it every time. Why?
Oh, gotta love it. Probably because it wants us to watch Nancy Grace again.
I'm so fat.
Brendan, you're not fat. It's the shirt. Look at Nate. His true classic is tight around the chest and shoulders and arms, and then it tapers off towards the bottom.
Nate also
We can skip the ad.
Okay, I'm just letting it go. I'm gonna go
Pause.
Hello. Welcome back.
If I pause it, it goes away. See? Why does it do that, y'all?
What is happening?
Does anybody know how
Okay.
you can stop?
That's fine. That's okay. So,
We're just gonna
okay.
go.
What I'm asking is, as soon as they walk around that corner, if you could pause it at that point.
It's going to disappear again. What I need to do. Hold on. Let me just screen record this. Hold on. I can do this easier.
Okay. We may be making it harder than we need to.
We're making it way harder than we need to. That's us, of course. Sorry, y'all. You know how I'm going to play it and let you guys just watch it while I do my thing over here.
I'm so fat.
Brendan, you're not fat. It's the
Again.
shirt. Look at Nate. His true.
It's fun to watch other people miserable.
Oh, AKA Jenny. Oh, Ickedmel. They say Ickedmel has the video of this.
Would he care if I used it though? I don't know him.
I mean, well, okay, never mind.
I could, but
I mean, you can't get struck because we're not making any money. Just saying.
Oh
So,
yeah, true. I mean, I don't care.
you're not monetized. You don't monetize. Not that you aren't monetized. You don't monetize. So
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
he's so chill. Okay. All right. We'll
Okay.
try it. Hit the arrows at the bottom to make it go big to the whole screen.
I
Whole
did.
screen.
I did that, and it still goes away as soon as you pause
Miss
it.
Kia, don't tell anybody, but she's a little bit technologically challenged with YouTube at times.
Yeah, I'm not like
Yeah, I think so too. Tammy, my friend Rabbit is cool with him.
Okay. I hope that they're okay. Oh, he's got the video. Oh, it's in the middle of his stream, huh? Of course it is.
Probably. To my emergency candy stash to eat my feelings. Okay. All right, RL. It's all good. Eat away. Eat away. There's no judgment here. If you need snacks, just pass them around the room.
It's going to be buried in the middle of his stream.
Give him credit. He'll be fine. Yeah. For the record, we're getting this video from Ickedmel.
Yeah, I
on
always
YouTube.
We're not like
Hughes
that.
has arrows on the girls, and he trimmed it. I don't know. Oh, Gray Hughes. I don't know Gray Hughes. I'm.
Yeah, we're not gonna be sniping stuff from people. Oh, right here. Okay, I'm gonna go to Ickedmel's. Okay, I'm gonna go to Ickedmel's, y'all.
Okay.
I hope he doesn't get mad.
To process that.
I don't see him getting mad or upset, but
Yeah, we're just trying to slow down the video and make it play. We're not gonna play the rest of his video, right?
if you don't subscribe to Ickedmel, please go subscribe to Ickedmel. We're going to start about 23 minutes in. And of course, I will go get, oh, she's got a better view too. Okay.
Yeah, Commander, I'm very weary of people I don't know. It's a nightmare on the sharing department. Okay, thank you, Liza. Yeah, so Gray, what was his name? Gray somebody? I don't
Gray
know.
Hughes.
Gray Hughes, they say that's not to share his.
Yeah, I've heard that. Okay, here we go. This is Ickedmel's. Again, this falls under fair use. Ickedmel, I'm sorry, I didn't ask permission. I'll ask forgiveness afterwards.
Chartreuse said, we're trying to avoid Nancy Grace. Surely he can understand that.
But he just played Nancy Grace too. He did the same thing we did. Anyways, thank you, Ickedmel. We're stealing this, and I will give you all the credit for it, of course. But let's go.
Yeah. All right.
We'll watch this one first, and then we'll watch the Twitch.
This guy knows what he's doing with all the graphics.
Thank you, Ickedmel.
Thank you, Ickedmel.
This one
okay, so here they come walking up.
Right here.
He is behind.
He's right here.
Gray Sweats, but in front of Pink Crop Top. When they walk up.
Let's go back.
Just do the little 10 seconds. Tell me not to go. Okay.
We'll watch this one first, and then we'll watch the Twitch.
So watch when they walk up.
Yep, right there. Watch, he's right there.
He is right behind girl in the gray sweats.
Yep, gray sweatshirt. He's right on her side. He's like between them when they enter. Okay.
Yeah. And girl in the pink crop top is following behind.
I should read the caption.
Oh, I could have gotten this off of, it looks like it's Twitter. Look at how he stands back behind him here and just observes.
Video from a Moscow food truck shows who appears to be two victims, Madison Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves or Gonzalez, just hours before the slayings.
Okay.
He just stands there.
Takes his hat off?
Yeah, he took his hat off, put his hood on.
So they're ordering their food. Pink crop top walks away to go to the next window and to say hello to somebody else.
Yeah.
Gray sweatpants is watching.
He moves so he can still keep visual.
So he stays by gray sweatpants. He does not go where pink crop top is. That tells me he's somebody with gray sweatpants.
So it's like two camera angles. One's right in front of the truck, I guess, and one's like on the side.
Oh, there's the girls. She looks like she's stumbling too. Just, the girl in the pink crop top. So that.
Yeah, but when you were hearing them in the Twitter feed, in the Twitch feed, you could hear them talking. Like there was no slurring of their voice, like no overly giggly, like none of that.
They just look like they had a normal night out at the bar.
They were just
but
out.
She's
they're walking perfectly fine. No, okay, gray sweatpants moves, he moves.
And look at the one in the pink. She just leaned in and said something to the gray sweatshirt. She's annoyed with him, whoever it is, it seems like.
I need
Seems
brown hat to move.
And I don't even notice who
he's in a brown Carhartt jacket. It looks
pointing
like.
at who. Like they mentioned a guy pointing at a girl, but I mean, I looked away a few times.
She's whispering to her. You see her?
Yeah. Yeah, she's annoyed. It looks like to me. And he grabs his phone out.
Let's take a look at the Twitch stream. So it says to start at 3:43.
We'll let Ickedmel take us here.
Oh, okay. All right. Shout out to Ickedmel again.
Shout out to Ickedmel. Hey, you can come. We're just watching this.
And this one has like 4.
They were on Twitch stream right before they were killed by the food truck.
All right, that's $10, man.
Oh.
There you go. Have a nice night, man.
Oh my goodness, the first order that's going to get handed out tonight because it doesn't.
All right. Anything else?
No, that'll be there.
You said chicken, right?
Yes.
What they want. Some people want. All right. It's gonna be $15. Where's the boss at?
Taco. At home, probably not quite asleep yet. Probably watching.
There we go.
4 chicken tacos.
Have a nice night. Hi. Good and yourself?
Good. I get the barbecue chicken mac and cheese.
All right. Would you like anything else with that?
Love the note on there.
All right. Was that all for you guys tonight?
Yeah.
All right. Barbecue chicken mac and the chicken burrito. It's gonna be $19.75.
Welcome, Raiders.
Raided from Little Miss Trish.
Little Miss Trish.
Have a nice night.
Little Miss.
It looks like
with a party of 114.
It looks
Gotta
like the
love
person
Twitch.
that clipped it on Twitter clipped a different thing from the Twitch thing.
Oh, yeah.
Different timestamp.
Yeah.
Do a Chipotle, a barbecue chicken, and three chicken tacos.
All right, was it off for you tonight? All right, Chipotle barbecue and 3 chicken tacos.
Nonsense. Can we fast forward it to where he finds them? Oh, he must just go back. He must say, forget that Twitch feed. You're on mute, just in case you're talking to us.
No, I know. I unmuted now. I don't know exactly where he went, but this is where they show up on the screen. Let's go back to it. Yeah, he just goes back to the
same girls though. So I don't. Is this?
Must have just been a different part of the Twitch stream. Look at. This is probably the last footage of them. But look at this guy back here. He takes his hat off.
I don't know. I'm confused, man. I don't really know.
Black hat. And he just like circles.
Can you rate this food truck video? You gotta go 3 hours in, is it? So,
all right, y'all. That's basically it. That's what he shows. There's a link to the full Twitch video. It's up. Okay. I'll go through. I'll do it. I'll go through and edit it myself. I'll go grab it and edit it myself, and we'll do it in the next stream. Okay.
So somebody says the girls take a pic of their taco and then they leave, and the guy leaves too. So do they walk off together?
Yeah, there's something here.
He was hurt in some way. The girls had no idea. To me, I know he looks super sus, right? But I feel like jumping on him as the possible, guy who did it is a little bit unrealistic. Like maybe he's just a guy who really likes that girl.
He might have been escorting them for the night. He might have been driving them home, made sure they got home safely and dropped them off. He could be a really good friend and actually did the right thing. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
Yeah, they are treating him like a third wheel. I do agree with that, Commander.
I agree with that. I think the girl in the pink is annoyed with him being there and like monitoring them. It seems to me that it seems like that when you have that friend that's got the boyfriend or the friend that is like invading your space and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, he needs to go kind of thing. But again, there's so much to be seen here.
Yeah, and where did they come from before this, right? Where did they come from? Was he with them during that time?
I'm assuming they were probably at a bar across the street or something because downtown Moscow is a lot of bars. There's like the college hip spot and stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
it's not, it's,
So-
and that's the problem is everybody, it's a really small area. It's got a big college presence, but it's, people will know. Like
when they leave, Rocket says when they leave, it looks like he goes after them and then realizes that they're getting in an Uber.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna get that Twitch video and then
Yeah, we'll
I'll
have to do some more research and
Verify.
find some videos to show everybody to just,
You guys-
for me, my little investigator mind is going. So,
Do you guys-
I'm here for it because it is a tragedy.
you guys want us to cover something like this and give everybody a little bit of a break? I know it's not like the normal content over here, but this is stuff that, factual based. We're not going to go out and start protesting and start doing investigations and calling anybody.
Nobody's going to Idaho.
We're not stalking
other than
anybody.
one person, but it's not us.
Yeah, we're not going to take a trip up there. We're not going to ask you for donations to send us there. Like, yeah. Okay. I have a very personal interest in this, so I will be following it. And I would love to. Okay, we'll follow it then. We'll continue.
Okay.
To
go. Amethyst is going to come through with all the.
Oh yeah, she knows all of it. And you guys check out. There's something. There's a major tragedy in Arizona. I don't know. There wasn't much details on that before we came live with this, but it sounds like a family in a home, multiple fatalities. They didn't release how many at the time. At first announcement, it kind of sounds potentially like an accident of a gas leak or something, but then the way the police was talking leads me to believe who knows what we're going to find out there too. They were just being really odd about their statements. So maybe we'll follow.
Maybe the person used to work for the CIA. I just had to put that out there for all for all the theory. What are they? Conspiracy theorists. Amethyst is going to get me when she watches this part.
Oh, is that what they're determining at ASU, Mom? Already, there was not much hours ago.
Okay, no worries, Rachel. Welcome. Exactly, Spoonie. I agree.
There's so much to this, though. I hope no matter what, they get a hold of whoever this was soon. Because it's sad. Yeah, if he was at the bar with them or not. I agree. I bet he was at the bar with them. I just have a feeling he probably was because the way he walked up with them. It'll be interesting to see where, because people in their internet sleuths, they already know who he is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's already been identified and thankfully law enforcement is on it, but all right, y'all.
All right.
And this one here. And
hey, everybody has lots of research to go and do. Go bring your receipts, find those videos, find the articles, find the information, bring it to us. We're good with it. We're going to, we're not here to solve a crime, just for the record. We're not here to do that. We'll let law enforcement do that part, but we're absolutely 100% here to theorize, find different things, be informed, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, to bring coverage to these tragedies too, that unfortunately I think this one will blow up to be quite a big deal now that the press conference has been out there and there's a lot. People will go crazy with it, but always getting you in a rabbit hole. Sorry, y'all.
Hannah. That's nonsense.
What?
Yeah, we're not protest pimps. We're not tragedy pimps here. We make no money over here. We simply have seen that, there obviously is a huge, we just seen pictures where there is an absolute travesty that has happened in that apartment. And there are so many, there's not just, I mean, if you think about it, there's not just 4 families affected by this. It has a ripple effect out from there. The community, these people's friends, their teachers, you know, people that like they had jobs, the people that they worked with. There's all these other people that are feeling this loss and this emptiness today because of what somebody or some people chose. So that is, you know, that's what we're here for.
Also, just to remind anybody, if you're in the Coeur d'Alene area or the Boise, Idaho area, there's a candlelight vigil tonight in both locations. I'm not sure if it's at Boise State or where the one in Coeur d'Alene is, but they did mention in the press conference that there will be one at the University of Idaho, tentatively scheduled for November 30th. Maybe we'll do something in honor of that here. But also, if you're local to those areas, please go out, support, light a candle.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the girls are all from Northern Idaho, which is a very small area. The girls were connected, played sports together. They have siblings. They're very connected in the communities and have a very big presence in that community. Rathdrum, Post Falls, Coeur d'Alene is going to be feeling this very heavy. So some of you guys will recognize that area from like the Shasta Grony case, things like that. Like there's not a lot that goes on up there, but when it does, it's horrific usually and headline news, it seems like. Like they said, they hadn't had a murder since 2015 in 8 years in Moscow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, just nuts. But okay, y'all. We're
All right.
gonna
Good night, guys.
Thank you for coming up with me, Nanya. This is great. I'll have you up more often so you can keep everybody entertained through my technical difficulties. And y'all, I will get better. I promise that all this like screens.
And you know, drum roll, please. Everybody knows what's coming up.
What? The awkward goodbye?
The awkward goodbyes. Here we go. Because just saying thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you like the content, like this page, subscribe. I'm out.
Hit the thumbs up on your way out. I can't do it now that you did it for me. I can't even do it. It sounds so funny. All right, y'all.
So awkward goodbye, guys.
I'm going to kick her out and then I'm going to say, Contessa, over and out. Thank you all for joining in. And I did it again, Nanya. All right. Y'all have a good night. Thanks again.